I never imagined that one dinner invitation would change the course of my life forever. It all started on a quiet Thursday evening when my husband, James, received a message from his colleague, Ryan. Ryan was known for his larger-than-life personality, charismatic, ambitious, and always pushing boundaries. That night, he had invited us over for dinner at his house. It seemed innocent enough, just a casual gathering, but I had a feeling deep in my gut that something was off. James admired Ryan, often speaking highly of his work ethic and relentless drive. But to me, Ryan always seemed like the kind of person who didn't quite understand limits. He had a way of making every situation about himself, of turning even the simplest conversations into high-stakes debates. Still, I didn't want to be the difficult wife who refused to socialize, so I agreed to go. When we arrived, Ryan's house was exactly what I expected, lavish, extravagant, almost too perfect. His wife, Emily, greeted us at the door with a forced smile. Her eyes darted around nervously, and I sensed that she was uncomfortable. I tried not to overanalyze it, but something about her demeanor unsettled me. Dinner started off well enough. The food was delicious, the atmosphere was warm, and for a while, it felt like any other social evening. Then, the conversation shifted. Ryan, ever the storyteller, began talking about a bet he had made at work. He was boasting about how he could push people to their limits, how he thrived on breaking barriers and proving that anything was possible if you were just bold enough. That's the problem with most people, he said, swirling his glass of wine. They're too afraid to take risks. If you want to win in life, you have to be willing to go all in. No safety nets, no excuses. His words sent a chill down my spine, but I kept my expression neutral. James nodded along, intrigued as always, but I could see a flicker of doubt in his eyes. Something about Ryan's tone had shifted, it was darker, more intense. Then, he turned to Emily. "Tell them about the challenge, honey," he said, smirking. Emily's face paled. She hesitated, glancing at me, then at James. "It's nothing," she murmured, trying to brush it off. Ryan wouldn't let it go. "No, no. Tell them. They'll love this." Emily took a deep breath. Ryan made a bet with his boss last month. He said he could prove that people are only as strong as their circumstances allow them to be. That if you push them hard enough, they'll break. I felt a sinking feeling in my chest. "What do you mean?" Ryan leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "I've been testing a theory. I wanted to see how far someone could go before they gave up. So, I picked someone desperate, someone who needed help, and I pushed them. I gave them just enough hope to keep going, then pulled it away at the last moment. Again and again. I wanted to see if they'd fight or if they'd surrender." My stomach churned. "Who?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Ryan grinned. "A man named Daniel. Homeless. I found him outside our office building. Gave him a job. Made him think his life was turning around. Then, just when he got comfortable, I fired him. I wanted to see if he'd bounce back or if he'd collapse." I stared at him in horror. Emily looked away, her hands gripping the edge of the table. James shifted uncomfortably, finally realizing that this wasn't just another one of Ryan's stories. This was cruel. I couldn't stay silent. "That's not an experiment, Ryan. That's playing with someone's life." Ryan scoffed. "Oh, come on. People need to learn to survive. It's a test of resilience." I could barely breathe. "And where is Daniel now?" Ryan shrugged. "Last I checked, he was back on the streets. Some people just aren't built to win." Something inside me snapped. I pushed my chair back and stood. "You don't get to decide who wins or loses, Ryan. You don't get to toy with people's lives like this." Ryan smirked, unbothered. "It's just reality, sweetheart. The world is brutal. I just exposed the truth." I turned to James, pleading with my eyes. He understood. We left immediately, the air between us heavy with unspoken words. As soon as we got home, I did the only thing I could think of, I went looking for Daniel. It took me 2 days. 2 days of searching through shelters, asking around, following vague leads. And then, I found him. Sitting outside a rundown cafe, wrapped in a thin blanket, eyes hollow with exhaustion. I sat beside him. "Daniel?" He looked at me, wary. "Do I know you?" "No," I admitted. "But I know what happened. And I want to help." At first, he didn't believe me. He had been tricked before. But I was persistent. I helped him find temporary housing. I connected him with a friend who ran a community outreach program. Slowly, he started to trust again. He told me his story, not just about Ryan, but about the life that had led him there. He wasn't weak. He wasn't a failure. He was just a man who had been let down by the world too many times. Weeks passed. Then months. Daniel got a job at a local bookstore, a place that valued him for who he was, not as an experiment. He smiled more. He laughed. And one day, he told me something that changed everything. "You were the first person who saw me as a human being," he said. "Not as a project, not as a lesson. Just a person." Tears stung my eyes. "Because that's what you are." Months later, Ryan's company found out about his so-called experiment. He was fired. People like him think they can play with lives and never face consequences. But kindness always finds a way to triumph over cruelty. And Daniel? He's still working at the bookstore. Still building a life. Still proving that the strongest people aren't the ones who never fall, they're the ones who get back up. Some people push others down just to see if they'll break. But real strength? Real strength is lifting someone up when they need it the most.